my gorgeous plant people, welcome back to Reading Mindfully. My name is Yana, and today we are doing a more of a vlog style kind of video. So today I just want to do some plant watering. I'm going to go ahead and propagate some of my plants, as well as we're going to spray a couple plants, you know, just for I'm going to spray some of the plants down with some Captain Jack because I did see a little bit of thrift. But yeah, I'm just going to do a couple things in this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Like and subscribe and comment down below if you like this kind of video, and yeah, let's get into it. Alright guys, so the plants that I'm going to go ahead and cut up right now, we're going to do my Maranta Lemon Lime, and we're also going to do my Syngonium Mojito. If you guys remember, I did propagate my previous Maranta, my red vein, and this is what it looks like now. And the funny thing is, I was telling my boyfriend, the funny thing is this plant was a lot fuller than this plant when I first received it. But as you can see, with propagating, this one is now the fuller plant, whereas this one is not as full, and that's due to propagation. So this is what I want to do with this one, and I want to turn it to this one, because as you can see, it looks full, but then there's actually a lot of room in here. So like we did with the last Maranta, I'm just going to go ahead and cut below the node or the elbows just so I can get a couple cuttings. And someone asked me a really great question about Marantas. They asked me, how is it that Maranta leaves come in dark like this leaf here, whereas a lot of people are getting light leaves like this one? And so I was doing a little bit of research on that, and I kind of want to do an experiment to see why and how Maranta leaves come in a lot lighter rather than getting the darker leaves. And so I was thinking about taking a couple cuttings just so I can practice on the plant and just to see if I can get some darker leaves. But those are some thoughts I was having, because I really do like the darker leaves, especially on the red vein Maranta. And I can show you here. I like the leaves that come in like this one rather than the leaves that come in lighter like that one. And so that's what I kind of want to do an experiment on. But for now, we're just going to take cuttings of this lemon lime, so that way it can be nice and full like its brother or sister. And then I think I'm going to take 2 more cuttings. I really liked how it came out on the other one. And not to mention that ever since I took cuttings, that red vein Maranta has grown so much faster. And the growth is just coming from several different locations. So I think this is how I'm going to leave it. I also like it like that as well, because it was getting a little bit straggly in certain directions, and it wasn't growing in the front here. And so when I replant the cuttings, I'll make sure to put some here. But that's what that looks like, and I like that a lot better actually. You guys know I like full, like more compact plants. And then look at all the cuttings that I have. I have 5 cuttings from my lemon lime, and I'm just gonna go ahead and stick that in water. The next plant we need to take care of is this Syngonium Mojito. And I think the reason that this plant isn't doing well because A, it needs a repot, and B, I don't think I was watering it right. I think a couple of subscribers and I have come to the conclusion that Syngoniums do need to be watered a little bit more frequently. So I'm actually going to try that, because I've been trying that with a lot of my plants, especially philodendrons. And I just think that certain plants do need to be kept a little bit more on the moist side. That way they don't continue to drop leaves. But I'm just going to cut below the node. As you can see there, you can see exactly where the node is because it's already growing roots there. So that is very helpful. And it's a good way to kickstart the propagating process, because you already know where the roots are coming from. And it's already starting to form roots. The only thing about this one is I'm not sure if I want to keep the base of the plant. I mean, it would be good to keep the base of the plant, but we will see. Let's see. And then I'm gonna pull off these yellow leaves here. And a lot of the other leaves are also very green. They don't have a lot of variegation. So what I'm thinking about is separating the two, so that way I have some leaves that are more variegated and some leaves that are not as variegated. Or I can just keep the ones that are more variegated, so that way I can potentially get a more variegated syngonium. And I think I'm just going to end up cutting this plant all the way back, because I actually do have some growth that's coming in the bottom. So I think I will keep this bottom portion of the plant. I'm just going to cut it all the way back. I'm not going to keep that leaf because it's all damaged. That one's not bad. What are you guys doing today? I'm doing some plant care and maintenance before I go to my friend's party, hence me being all dressed up. But yeah, I just wanted to take care of some of my plant stuff before we head out. And the next couple things I'm going to do for my plants, I am going to spray them down. I need to water a couple plants. I'm going to include that all in this video. But those are the cuttings I got from my syngonium. Alright, so we're going to start in the first section of my home. If you guys watch my houseplant tour, actually no, because I changed a lot of it here. So I changed it to, I moved a lot of my, well, almost all of my rubber trees over here. I have my Taneki, the green one, the ruby. I have my Altissima and my Audrey. The only one that's not over here is the burgundy, and it's still in that other corner where they were initially. But I think everything else in this corner is the same. But I'm just gonna go zone by zone because I feel like that is the easiest for me, especially because I do have over 100 plants. And so we're just gonna check if any plants need water. And like I said, I'm gonna also do some spraying with Captain Jack's. And when I use Captain Jack's and I spray my plants down, I make sure to do both sides of the leaves as well as the stem, so that way I can make sure that I'm getting the entire plant. If my infestation was bad, I would also do the soil. Sometimes I do spray the top of the soil, but if my infestation was really bad, I would use the granules, mix that in the soil, and then when I water it, it would be good to go because that is uptaken through the roots of the plant, and then when the bug munches on the leaves, they'll die off. But my infestation, like I said, is not that bad, so I'm just gonna go ahead and spray, and then that should be good. And then my watering is not aesthetic. I just use a jug of water. I do, like I said, I have a lot of plants. I find that this is the easiest way, just use a jug of water. I could be, fancy and use a pretty watering can and make the lighting and everything all nice, but realistically it's not, it's not very efficient for my time, as well as the bigger watering cans are really heavy as opposed to just using a jug of water. So this is what I'm going to use. I also use my trusty moisture meter. That way I can make sure that the plants are not overwatered. So I'm just going to go around and start measuring plants and see which ones are on the dry side. I'm also going to take this time to cut any yellow leaves off of certain plants. If you can see, I do have a little crispy leaf on my Calathea medallion, so I'm just going to cut that off. And the plant looks a lot better now that I've taken that leaf off. I do have a new leaf coming in here, so I'm not too worried about that leaf. And then this one is a newer leaf as well. But yeah, that's what it looks like. It's actually not doing that bad. I think it's because I moved it to a lower lighting area. But that one doesn't need any water. The other plant that I need to cut back or cut some leaves off is my Syngonium auretum. And I think the reason why I'm losing the lower leaves on this plant is because I'm not keeping it moisturized enough. So I think with my Syngoniums, I'm going to start watering them better, or keeping them a little bit more moist. But as you can see, it doesn't look terrible. It does need to be staked if I'm going to do that, but yeah, I'm just going to put this back and water it. I do need to water my staghorn fern. As you can see, it's really droopy. This one I actually need to take to the kitchen sink to water it, so I'm going to put this one to the side. And let's see. I just watered my rubber trees, so I don't really need to do those. I do have one yellow leaf on my green rubber tree. Even I get yellow leaves. And then over here, you guys can see I have some anthuriums here. I just have a couple. This is one of the yellow leaves on my Anthurium metallicum, but this is an older leaf, one of the first leaves that I had. It was one of the shipping leaves, so I'm not surprised that these are going. And then this is what my metallicum looks like. I have a little bit of yellowing on this one, so I'm thinking about spraying this one down. And I do have my fan on as well as the air conditioning. I might also open up the windows just so I can make sure that these leaves don't stay wet. I'm going to check the soil for moisture. It does say that it's pretty dry, if you guys can see that. Yep. So I'm going to water this plant as well. And then we're going to do the plant in the windowsill. Looks like my varicosum's a little dry. The other thing I want to show you guys is look how big this billieti leaf is. Like, that is massive. So I'm definitely gonna have to find a new place for this billieti pretty soon, because if you can see, it's taking up a lot of space. But yeah, that's the newest leaf. Alright, I'm sorry for the backlighting, but I don't think I have too many plants in this section to do. So I pretty much watered most of these plants already this week. But I'm just gonna check my clarinervium. This one does need water. And it needs water because it is putting out a new leaf. If you can see this here, it's putting out a new leaf. So when anthuriums do put out new leaves, they do get a lot more thirsty. The other plant that I need to chop back is my Rhaphidophora decursiva. It is just getting crazy, and all the leaves are growing into my blinds. So this one is actually one that I need to take care of soon. I have another staghorn fern that I need to water. This one isn't as droopy as the other one. And look, I even got a new shield on this one. But this section is mainly humidity-loving plants, a lot of ferns. As you can see, I have my Australian tree fern, I have my huge asparagus fern. I'm actually going to check this one because this one always needs water. And surprisingly, it doesn't need water. But you guys can see my asparagus fern is getting pretty big. You guys can see it's getting really like a really good size. It's been putting out so many new leaves or fronds. My asparagus fern is actually getting pretty big too. And then my Anthurium superbum has been growing surprisingly. But yeah, I'm just gonna go water some plants. Here's that other Aglaonema, that hybrid Aglaonema. That's doing well there. And then if you guys want an update on my Macaulay's finale, I mean not my, if you guys want an update on my my Philodendron McDowell, this is what's happening. So you see we have lots of growth coming. It's starting to grow back, which is a good sign. And here's a better view of my Anthurium superbum. Here's my giant asparagus fern and my Australian tree fern. You can see that's grown a lot. And my asparagus fern is going crazy. But yeah, here's a better look of the new leaf. And there's a better look of this, the Cursiva growing crazy. And then the only plants in this area that I need to trim up are my Friedeck. I did lose a couple leaves on my Friedeck, so I am going to trim that up. So here's my Friedeck. You can see that I have 4 nice leaves on here. And then those are the old ones, so I'm just going to cut these off. And if you can see in here, it's growing a corm. And so if you pluck this off, you can actually create a whole nother plant. You can also just stick it right back in the soil. I've done that as well, and it'll sprout another plant here. But actually, if you guys can see here, I'm getting a new leaf. So I definitely need to monitor this one, and I need to check if it needs water, because if I let it dry out, it will drop leaves. And you can see that it's still in the moist section, so I'm not going to water this one. But I am going to rotate it when I put it back, just so all the leaves don't grow to one side. And I have one yellow leaf on my elbow. And I think that's all the plants for this section. So we're kind of breezing through this really nicely. Alright, this is the last section in my living room. We're not going to do my bedroom plants just because my boyfriend's in there and he's watching TV. But I'm going to take care of the plants in this section. Everything looks good in this section for the most part. But I am going to spray just in case, because I had moved that one plant. If you guys watch my struggle video, I had moved that Silver Lady Fern here. And if you guys watch that video, I told the caterpillar story. And so I just want to spray just in case there's any caterpillars. But I've been watching, and so far I haven't seen any caterpillars or any munching on leaves. I have been monitoring, trust and believe. But I'm still going to spray just in case. And because I haven't found any insects here, I'm not going to really worry about spraying the undersides and things of the leaves. So I'm just going to do a good once over. And then, I don't know if you guys can see this, but my peace lily, the flower is no longer white, it's turned green, but it's open if you guys can see that. I think it's so beautiful. And I'm just going to spray, this is my philodendron melanochrysum verrucosum cross, so I'm just going to spray this one. And there is a couple yellow leaves or pale leaves on my bird's nest fern, so I'm going to cut some of those off. And then my syngonium, this is my syngonium macrophylla, just have a couple leaves here. You can see it's looking really good. It's starting to vine as well, but I do like it a lot bushier. And if you guys have any questions, sage doesn't mess with any of the leaves or anything. That's why I'm okay with just like cutting the leaves off and letting them fall into the floor, because he doesn't bother that stuff. He really isn't even interested in my plants unless I'm actually like looking at them on a level, like on the floor with him there. But for the most part, he really doesn't care about my plants. And look at this. I already have a new like offshoot on my whale fin. That's really exciting. If you guys want an update on my chocolate aglaonema, it is doing really well. It's got new leaves and a bloom. I'm gonna check it to see if it needs water. It's at the 2, so I'm not gonna water it yet. I'm gonna wait till it fully dries out, and then I'll water it. And then the ones that I really check are my prayer plants and my ferns, because those are my prayer plants, my ferns, and my anthuriums. Then those are the plants that usually need watering. Also my peace lilies. Don't worry, the saucer's down on the floor. But yeah, so this section's all cleaned up. I've sprayed it. Let me double check my peace lily sensation. That one does need water. And normally I would mix fertilizer in with my plant, in with my watering jug, but because I'm on time crunch, I'm trying to get this done before I go over to my friend's house. This is just what we're working on today. So my peace lily is still blooming. I do have a new leaf coming. And I think that's all I want to do for this section here. The other thing I wanted to show you guys is, this is another plant that I was waiting for. This is a true BI dark form, and I did get another one because the last one that I bought was not a good purchase. And so that's exactly what I talk about when making purchases online, of all the things that you have to consider. But this one just came in the mail. I had ordered it September 24th. It just took a while to ship, but it finally came yesterday and I wanted to show you guys. But that's my dark form. This one's a lot better quality and I felt a lot better about this one. I got this one off of the Potted Elephant on Etsy too, just in case you're wondering. But yeah, that's what I wanted to do in this vlog. You see, we did some watering, a little bit of plant care, and as you guys see, it really doesn't take that long for me to care for my plants, especially when I do it in zones. It makes it a lot easier, a lot more manageable, and especially because I do have a considerable plant collection. Doing it in zones is a lot better for me, especially if I don't have time to do all of my plants. Doing it in zones is very helpful, because if I am only allowed to get done 1 or 2 zones, I know exactly where I leave off, so it's a lot better for me to do it this way. I did change up my setup as well, just so you guys can get a quick view. You see how Sage isn't really interested in my plants. Yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of video, that way I'll know to do them more often. But as always, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching my videos, liking and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.